You should listen to my rant about a stay at home moms. Why you guys should stay at home. Just watching what you did, your natural instincts with Cleo, how you calmed it down, and then it was totally chill. And I was doing the typical thing, like if a kid's, like when I sucked in school, in high school. Mm-hmm. This is how my dad would motivate me. I would be sitting there watching TV, and he would just walk in the room and scream, "Study!" Or he'd go, "Hit the box!" And then I'd have to turn off the TV and go upstairs, totally angry at him, resenting him, and then sit down and read like a science book. And all I was thinking of doing was slamming it over his head. Yeah.
So what were you saying?
That you guys just naturally have that instinct. You should not be in the workforce. You guys.
Why not?
Because you're wasting that talent. It's like you have this unbelievable talent to raise kids, and now you got to drop them off at some snot-nosed fucking...
Well, we have other talents besides child rearing. So, is it possible that we can do both? What? Do both?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've never wanted to fucking smash you with a windscreen before in my life.
Why? Because I'm speaking the truth?
You're not. You guys, you know what you guys have become? You've become men. You're distant from your fucking kids. What's more important than raising a kid right? Exactly. Now you're spending 8 hours of the day. I'm not saying you got to give up on your dreams of being nationally known for needlepoint. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, those early years, you should be home. And
I would want to be home with my kids the first few
Why
years.
wouldn't you? If you're any sort of a mother, why wouldn't you?
Well, because some women have to work, Bill. Some women don't have the option
I know.
of staying
I'm
home.
not giving them shit that they have to work. I'm just, if you suggest that women should stay home with kids, they look at you like you're some caveman.
Well, because it's probably because back in the day, that was what was expected. That's all you do. That's all you're good for. So it brings back those feelings.
Nah, you know what it
was?
was?
I want to feel like I can do both. I can take care of my children, and I can have a career, and I can provide for my family. We want to feel like we can do it all, and it's harder and harder to do that. And yes, there's a certain wave of feminism that has hurt a woman's ability to sort of naturally follow her instinct because she feels like she's not living up to her full potential.
I know, and the amount of people who just end up in cubicles, that's my thing. I'm not saying that if you're going to run your own business and that type of thing, but honestly, to just go out into the workforce and become another drone. Do you ever wonder why that comic Dilbert is so fucking popular? It's because of the amount of people who fucking relate to that the bizarre corporate fucking world that makes no goddamn sense, that is not fulfilling spiritually on any level. That's what you signed up for. That's what most guys were doing. I blame guys earlier in this that we always come home, we always got to exaggerate what we're doing, acting like it was bigger than what it actually is. And I think you guys got a false sense of what going out into the workforce was. You didn't realize that most people were just going out there, standing on the end of a fucking assembly line.
I don't think women were that naive to think that.
Yeah, you had your faces in fucking. You were making oatmeal cookies. You didn't know what was going on. There was no internet. There was no Oprah. There was none of that shit. You had I Love Lucy.
Whoa,
yeah.
Maggie.
Yeah, that's all you had. You didn't know what was going on. The only, especially way back in the day, you go back to like women's suffrage that happened, I think, in the 1700s. When you went back to nothing. You don't remember that? When was women's suffrage? When did you broads finally get the right to vote? Like 1920? I think it was part of that
I don't know.
Babe Ruth going to the Yankees deal. I think that was another way the Red Sox fucked up. But your version of what went on in the world all came from your fucking husband. When he came home and he bought some $2 cigar and started chomping on it, acting like it was a Cuban.
I think you're underestimating women's awareness of the real world back in the day.
I think you're underestimating the lack of technology that existed back then.
You don't need technology to understand how the world works.
Really?
Yes, really. People have been doing
so let me
it
get
for
this straight.
thousands of years.
So you don't have a TV, you don't have a fucking radio.
And so what, you thought women were just in a bubble? Like, I have no idea.
I'm just
in a house baking cookies and feeding children.
You're at the end of a country road. I'm talking about these broads in the middle of nowhere who were like barefoot until they were 31. And the one day, the half Indian guy who the white people let hang around made her some moccasins. It was like the happiest day of her life. Talking about her. She had no idea what it was like.
Your version of history is hilarious.
Down at the mill.
Well, I'm sure there's
my version of history. I watch the History Channel all the time. Thank you very much.
Why don't you actually talk to your mother, who is of that generation who's from a small town?
She wasn't. My mother didn't have the right to vote.
Well, no, I don't mean that.
I'm talking about the beginning.
But I mean, back in the days when she was younger and that sort of thing, she might be able to offer a better.
You know what it is? I just find so many of the things that you guys talk about to be so childish and frivolous.
Isn't that interesting? Because we feel the exact same way.
Difficult time taking you seriously. That has been one of the biggest challenges of this relationship. Is when I look at you to not see you as the child that you are, and I have to keep reminding myself that you actually are an adult. That's one of the hardest things.
You are an old man, and I've thought that from the beginning. You're an old, out-of-touch red beard.
You know what? You went to the red beard well too many times. Once again, you killed on the podcast. You really saved me. I had the Tylenol PMDTs. I started off fast, and then in the middle, I was talking about eating a pig's head, and I couldn't even make it funny. So thank you for coming on here, Nia.
Anytime.
We appreciate it. And I want to thank all the ladies who are going to take what I said seriously and send me a bunch of fucking emails. If you would break balls like this fucking lady did here, it was tremendous. You really should read this, Nia.
I will.
You know?
I bet it's good.
You? Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it's good.
Well, you should think it's good. I said it was.
Oh, God.
All right, I think it's time to shut your mic off. This is another thing I wish I could do in real life. Just turn people's mics down. Like, that's enough for you.
Bye.
See you later. I'm just joking. You could stay to the end of the podcast. I just felt bad.
All right.
I just felt bad.
Oh, see, you have your moments. You're such a Gemini. You're sweet, and then you're sour.
All right, this is getting weird. All right, that's the podcast this week, you guys. Go fuck yourselves. Don't take any shit.